Welcome to 2K Sports in the NBA. I'm your host, Damon Bruce. Merry Christmas. It's time for a little holiday basketball action. It's going to be the Dallas Mavericks up against Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. It's the NBA on 2K Sports.
Welcome to a special presentation of the NBA on Christmas Day here on 2K Sports. We want to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas. With our Santas Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harmon. It's a happy hometown crowd here at the U.S. Airways Center. The Phoenix Suns are home. Now a look at Dallas's starting lineup. Marion and Dirk make up the forwards. Carter is out there with Jason Kidd, and it's Odom in at the center, filling out the middle. And for the Suns, Hill at the 3 with Stoudemire at the 4. Nash out there with Brooks, and it's Gortat in at the 5. Poked away, out of bounds, and they retain possession.
Well, Dallas may not be the toughest team defensively, but they're very smart. They do a nice job of avoiding fouls and keeping teams off the free throw line.
Now here's Nowitzki. Carter left side. Lets it go from the wing. And there's Jason Kidd on the assist by Carter. And Steve, you brought up the fouls. Part of it, Clark, is that they aren't overly aggressive on D, but another part is they're maybe too careful too.
Yeah, you got to have the right mixture of aggressiveness and caution. You want to strike a balance there. Dallas isn't going to shut any team down with their D, but they're not giving games away either with silly fouls, and that's how you got to approach it from their standpoint.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, I had a chance to talk with head coach Alvin Gentry. He said offensively our mindset has been perfect lately, limiting mistakes, getting everyone involved in the offense, and not forcing shots. He said they've stressed the importance of maintaining that approach this evening. Guys?
Doris, thanks. Guys, shooting is a chief concern for them.
You know, it could be this coaching staff has seen something they haven't really liked in regard to shooting, maybe a poor week of practice perhaps.
Well, they can't really think before a game about whether the shots are going to go in or not. I mean, it's all about playing hard and trying to get good shots and then building your confidence from there.
And the basket by him.
He has such a calm demeanor, but he locks in, takes his time, and finishes.
Boy, you go back to Dirk in that Game 6 clincher, guys. He had a bit of an off night shooting in the first half particularly, but throughout the whole playoff run, he was virtually unguarded.
Phoenix making some changes. Josh Childress, he's checked in for Hill. And it's Brown in for Aaron Brooks. And that one falls for Nowitzki.
Well, one more thing about Dirk Nowitzki, guys. I mean, I love the fact that he bounced back in the second half of Game 6 after that 1-for-12 first half. To me, that's the ultimate sign of mental toughness because everybody has tough shooting nights. But when you can turn one bad half into a good one under that kind of pressure, it just shows you what kind of player you are.
Here's Brown. Nash left side. Tries to save it.
This has to drive a coach crazy. That's his third turnover already here in the first quarter.
Well, he's got to fall back and get back to the game plan. I mean, his execution has been very uneven and inconsistent so far.
Jason Kidd is so respected around the NBA. In fact, even though he wasn't on Team USA that played in the World Championships back in 2010, he was invited to train with the team to kind of give them some guidance. That says a lot about Jason Kidd.
Now here's Brown. Childress, the pass to Brown. Up and in on the way.
And I like that move to the hoop. You use your speed, go around the bigger defender.
And back to what Steve was talking about with Kidd, with all the leaders that Team USA has had over the years, I think it speaks volumes for what Kidd brings to the table.
Well, you and I have talked about chemistry. Talent, you've got to have it. But you also need chemistry. You need guys that understand how to lead by example and vocally. And Jason Kidd fits the bill. Part of it is his maturity, and that only comes with experience and the passing of time.
And Phoenix has possession after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
Working on Fry. Nowitzki left side. Fades and shoots. Again, the Mavericks score.
Well, they've got to do something defensively because he's been unstoppable.
And defensively, Steve, your only choice now is to double him. I mean, I don't think there's another option.
Timeout called, the Suns.
I don't think we'll see anyone quite like Dirk again for a long time. He's such a unique player. I mean, his shot is just so pure. It'll be hard for a player to replicate what he's been able to do, especially on that 7-foot frame and the unorthodox style that he does it with.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Robin Lopez is checked in for Gortat, and it's Xavier Dowdell in for Steve Nash. Here's Dowdell. Puts up a three, and yes, sir, that one drops. Brown's got 5. Clark, you've mapped it out well. You mentioned Dirk, and I think at this point it's safe to say he's the best European player ever in the NBA. What do you think?
I'm right there with you.
Steve?
Yeah, he's got to be considered the best European player ever, ahead of anybody I can think of. The only foreigner that I could compare to him would be Hakeem Olajuwon. He would be number 1 on my list. But Dirk, in terms of Europe, yeah, he's number 1. Just another one of his many. Post moves down low.
Here's Dowdell. 58 seconds left in the first. Stolen by Terry. Fader on the way. That's good.
No, you can't give him any space out there.
Suns trail by 4. Stolen by Haywood. Terry kicks to Mary. Deft touch on the alley-oop.
There's a pretty play. Feathery lob pass in there. Nicely done.
That's exactly what he did. Laid it up there beautifully.
Yeah, no mistakes on either end, and a great. Big touch on that layup.
And Phoenix has possession. They trail by 6. Stolen by Carter. To the paint. Jumps up. The shot by Marion, no good.
Tell you what, the defender made a nice recovery there. It looked like he was beaten, but he still managed to challenge the shot.
Fry dishes to Lopez. Hits it off the backboard.
Look how they've been scoring basketball, and it's really fun to watch them because all the baskets are coming off assists.
Well, keep that in mind. I mean, they're a much more efficient team when they make that extra pass. When they get in trouble, it's when they're taking quick shots.
Six seconds left in the first quarter. Buries it down low.
Right out of the gate, just filling it up.
Both teams are, guys. I mean, points coming fast and furious.
The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. The Mavericks on top, up by 6.
It was a pretty solid first quarter for this club. They limited their mistakes and really took advantage offensively.
You know what? I like what I've seen from them on the other end, forcing a few giveaways. That's excellent pressure and good activity with the hands.
And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports. And we're ready to get rolling once again here for our Christmas Day matchup. Here is Barea. 6-point game.
Well, the Suns missed the playoffs a year ago, and there's a lot of speculation about whether they will begin a rebuilding process. Steve Nash obviously getting up there in years. So the question for Phoenix, do they trade him? Do they keep him? Do they still try to build around him? One thing's for sure, they need an infusion of young talent.
We've got Nash. Gortat is out there with Warwick. Then it's Brown, and it's Hill in at the 3. So that's the Suns' 5 as we get into the second quarter. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, the Dallas Mavericks had more than just the support of the immediate Dallas area in the NBA Finals. A Cavs for Mavs campaign started up with all the Cleveland fans cheering for the Mavericks to win. As the Heat became the villains of the NBA, though, the Mavs had a lot more than just Cleveland cheering for them last June. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. A lot of people jumped on that Mavs bandwagon last postseason.
You know, beyond the Cleveland thing, I mean, I think the Mavs were a team that was just an easy squad to root for last season with Dirk and Jason Kidd vying for their first rings, and they were fun to watch, too.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. All good questions to look for answers for, Steve. Certainly the Suns need more young talent. This is a team that was selling first-round picks only a few short seasons ago, Clark.
And, Kevin, that's rarely a good idea. I mean, even on a stacked veteran team like the Suns were, you look at players like Luol Deng, Rajon Rondo. I mean, those players selected with some of the picks the Suns sold away. Sometimes those moves can come back to make you squirm a little bit.
Yes. Back to Odom. Hammers the alley-oop through.
Didn't take long to get that hoop.
Guys, they sure made the D look slow that time.
Here is Nash. Timeout called, the Suns.
Easy to see why he called this timeout. They've been allowing way too many shots around the basket, and that can't continue.
Boy, how good were the Mavericks last year against the Western Conference? They won 35 times against Western opponents.
Aaron Brooks is checked in for Phoenix. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Carter comes in for Jason Terry. Here is Brooks, looking for his first bucket of the game. Nowitzki with the steal.
Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover.
Funny shot. A nice shot by Carter. Going back now to the Mavs, they didn't win the division, Clark, but they nabbed the 3 seed in the playoffs. And that played a nice part of it.
Yeah, you know, they edged out the Thunder by 2 wins, and the difference there was the record of those 2 teams against the Western Conference. So I know it's a long season, and sometimes it's hard to value every game. But when you're a playoff team or contending championship team, every game does mean something during that regular season.
So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Nice time to use that foul to stop the layup.
You know, if you can save just 1 point, that foul was the right move.
And he knocks down the first one.
Well, prior to last season, the Suns decided to let Amari Stoudemire leave for free agency. They were concerned that with all of his injuries, they just couldn't justify giving him a long-term big deal.
And they get in the way. Looked like the alley-oop attempt that time. Here's Hill. Rises up and throws it down.
Wow, that's great. You take advantage of that turnover and convert at the other end.
Absolutely. I mean, points off turnovers this time generated off the steal.
Well, Steve, that's what, I'm sure you'd agree, that's what makes this Sun story so interesting. They let Amari go to the Knicks, but then they turned around with a completely different front office and spent almost as much on Channing Frye, Josh Childress, and Clark Hakeem Ward. It seemed at times a little confusing.
Yeah, baffling would be another word to use there. I mean, historically, Kevin, those mid-level deals for average players can be just as risky. So some interesting choices by the Suns' top brass, and we'll see how they pan out. You need to give them a little time, but that usually takes a little longer than you want it to.
And Doris Burke has for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, guys, there's no question Steve Nash has had a great run with the Phoenix Suns. said, Steve Nash is arguably the best point guard in the league. I love the guy, what he brings on and off the court. He symbolizes what basketball should be about. And guys, D'Antoni's system requires greatness at the lead guard position.
I'm sure he misses Nash at the helm. Thanks, Doris. Carter against Brooks. Carter, the pass to Odom. Back to Carter. Stolen by Brooks.
So a couple of poor possessions now in a row consecutively. Both times turnover. That's not productive basketball. That's not winning basketball.
Yeah, but you know, you start stringing errors back-to-back together, you lose all momentum in this game. Kind of a strange season for Aaron Brooks last year, guys. He was unhappy when Houston didn't give him a contract extension, so the Rockets eventually traded him to Phoenix for Goran Dragic.
Some changes for Phoenix. Gortat's checked in for Lopez. Brown comes in for Aaron Brooks. And it's Nash in for Xavier Dowdell. And the Mavericks making a change here as well. Sean Marion, he's checked in for Lamar Odom. The leaner and the rejection by Gortat. Suns trail by 6. Here's Hill and blocked. Now the Mavericks with it. They've led by as much as 10.
You know, Steve, when you talk about Aaron Brooks and every point you made is a good one, it wasn't really the best of fits for him. And I think here in Phoenix, it has been a nice fit. He's got speed and shooting ability, and he can definitely play an up-tempo game, and that's Phoenix's style.
Kidd kicks to Carter. Blocked. Here comes Steve Nash. Hill dishes to Nash. He's picked up by Kidd, taken away by Kidd.
It's amazing one player can turn the ball.
With that one, boy, they got the crowd buzzing there.
A pretty perfect play all around.
What a fantastic. Big dunk to finish it off, too.
So far, we've seen them be a bit careless with the ball.
Guys, untidy. You've got to value the possession of the basketball.
I know you agree with that, Steve.
Oh, totally. You got to play with control and composure, Kevin.
Mavericks leading by 8. Replay here. Sprite Slam Cam showing it once more.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Roll it, roll it.
35 seconds left in the first half. Here's Hill. Gets the bucket. Hill's down 11 points. And so here is Dallas. 8-point game. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Suns making a switch here. Childress is checked in. And that one falls for Nowitzki.
Shooting 100% in the quarter. They've made them all, taking full advantage at the line.
Well, it's a nice job of really making the most of their opportunity.
Now that's just rubbing it in, fellas.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
Here's Nash. 6 points for him. He's covered by Kidd over Marion, and the Suns tack on 2 more.
And I think defensively, you've got to commit a second defender because he's just destroying you right now.
Yeah, one-on-one, he's been a handful.
And the first half is now in the books.
Nowitzki playing very well. He's got 14 points, and check out his steals. Very active hand.
But what impresses me most about his defense, Clark, is his anticipation. I mean, he is one step ahead of everybody else.
Mavericks lead by 11.
Nothing brings out the cheer quite like NBA action. Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to HP's Halftime Report. I'm Damon Bruce, and we've hung our tinsel with care. For the Dallas Mavericks, they have the lead against the Suns out at U.S. Airways Center. They've been a terror in transition, dicing up the D on the open court. For Dirk Nowitzki, a stellar game, no doubt. He's up to 14 points, and the defense has been rock solid. And giving it their all, the Phoenix Suns. They're making it look effortless offensively, scoring at will. A solid performance by Grant Hill. Steve Nash, also a major factor for them. And time now to head back out to the rest of the game in Phoenix. I'll see you next time on 2K Sports.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Here is Kidd.
Now, the Suns missed out on the playoffs for only the fourth time in the last 23 years last season. And with the team getting older and no outstanding young players, it may be a while before Phoenix returns to prominence.
On the floor for Dallas, Marion and Dirk make up the forwards. Jason Kidd is out there with Carter, and it's Odom in at the center position. Hits the bucket. 13 points for Hill. And, you know, for the Suns, Clark, what do you think is their best path for them right now? Could they bounce back to where they were, you think?
In the short term, Kevin, I'd have to say no. I mean, this team a few years ago had a legitimate chance to win a title. I mean, now the talent level has dropped off, and we know you start right there. I mean, you've got to have talent to think about a championship, and it's easy to see why the word rebuild kind of floats around. I think that takes time, and that's where the Suns are right now.
And for so long they've been looking for a center. Now they got Lopez, they got Gortat, but they don't have anything around it, or at least things that they're really building
It just reminds you of how hard it is to get the pieces together to play at a high level and to have a chance to compete for and pursue a championship.
Straight up, and again, Dirk Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, points in the paint have been a huge factor here for them.
Steve looking to take it inside and go up strong. That's a remedy for success.
Timeout call, the Suns.
You know, so many tough battles in the past between the Suns and the Mavericks, and you know, in the playoffs and regular season. Really, it's one of the better rivalries in the league.
And the Suns making a change here. Childers is checked in. Nash working against Carter. Nash the pass to Gortat. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way. You're right, Clark. Last year, that was a one-sided affair. The Mavs took all 4 meetings, Steve, between the two teams.
And as the Suns seem to be in transition, we might not see the great games we've grown accustomed to in the playoffs between these two teams over the years.
And making a change here, the Mavericks. Terry's checked in.
Roll it.
Here's Marion. Nowitzki left side. Gortat with the steal.
The turnover difference hasn't been in their favor, but you know what? It hasn't really slowed them down too much. I like the fact they're staying aggressive here. This offense's first miss after 3 straight makes to start the second half.
Terry, that's a 2. High quality look, and he sinks it. Terry's got his second bucket.
They're rolling now. 5 straight hoops to start this quarter.
You know, looking at Vince Carter in his prime, I thought he was one of the greatest scorers and dunkers in the league. Maybe top 5 in both categories, but now at 34 years old, he's grounded a bit.
Brooks kicks to Childress. Kidd knocks it loose. Mavericks leading by 15. Puts it up. And it's Marion. That time on the assist by Nowitzki. 6 points for Marion. Talking about Vince Carter, not one to ever make excuses, but you heard through the grapevine, Steve, that his knees are starting to be a problem for him.
Well, Clark mentioned his age. I mean, that's just the reality of playing in this league, particularly somebody like Vince Carter, who's a high flyer. You think about all that impact on his joints and his knees and his ankles. It takes its toll. And, you know, his days as a superstar are behind him, but Carter still with the ability to be an effective player out there.
Nowitzki dishes to Marion. Boards out against Nowitzki. Goes right up, and Marion gets it to go on the assist by Nowitzki. 8 points for Marion.
Boy, what a great job of getting into the teeth of the defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's been their main point of attack. I mean, get the ball deep and try to score from in tight rather than rely on their outside shooting. I mean, that's a more consistent way to score, take it inside. Well, for one, he hasn't let them down. I mean, but a few other guys need to pick up the pace if they're going to be good.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game.
And once again, the Mavs were a terrific road team last year, winning 28 games and losing 13 away from Dallas.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Grant Hill, he's checked in for Childress. Round comes in for Aaron Brooks. And it's Xavier Dowdell in for Steve Nash. And then for Dallas, Brendan Haywood, he's checked in for Nowitzki. Odom comes in for Sean Marion. And Delonte West is subbed in for Jason Kidd. Suns trail by 15. Dowdell, and it's blocked. And stolen by Fry. Here's Hill. Stolen by Haywood.
It's a surprise to see him struggling to take care of the ball, guys, after turning it over only once in the first half.
Inside. Goes straight to the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. Monte. West picks one up.
That's how it works. Your defense feeds into the offense.
Yeah, you know, excellent work, I thought. Solid work on both ends in that particular sequence.
You know, Clark, you always don't think of them that way, but the Mavs have been a great team on the road for quite some time.
You know, you do overlook that, Kevin, until you look at the numbers. I mean, I'm not sure why it is, but they consistently are at the top of the NBA in road wins year to year. Even closed out their first-round playoff win last year on the road. That's always impressive.
It's stolen by West. Bobs the alley-oop pass. Nice catch and finish on the alley-oop. Terry's got 4 points this quarter.
What a beautiful play. The catch and the finish all in one fluid motion.
How can it get any prettier than that?
I don't think it can, guys. That was perfectly executed.
5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Hill. A reverse, and it's good. Through contact, gets the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
He's been hot for most of this game, and if he keeps it up, his team could turn things around.
And no problem at the line here for the three-point play. Here's West. Carter, the pass to Terry. Back to Carter. Terry kicks to Haywood. They're moving the ball. Here's Carter. And another basket for Dallas.
Well, they haven't had to ask him to do too much, but he's doing whatever's needed out there.
Nash outside, and it's in.
Barely beat
quarterback in this game.
Not a whole lot the defense can do because he's showing the entire repertoire down on the block.
Yeah, he sure is. It's been a post-move clinic down there from him so far. I mean, you think they'll keep feeding him the ball just because he's been so effective down there? Give it to him.
2K Sports. Back in a moment here from the U.S. Airways Center. We're still getting underway here in the fourth. Let's go down to Doris Berger as our Sprite Spark of the game report. Doris.
Thank you, Kevin. It's the Mavericks with the spark of the game with that push we saw. The team got on a hot streak in the second quarter, started scoring in bunches and haven't let up since. It's the main reason why they head into the fourth with this great lead.
Thank you, Doris. Everything really clicked for them, Clark, during that run.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, it ignited him offensively.
To the point, Clark, where they were really in complete control of that end of the floor.
All fueled up and ready to go. As we set the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the fourth quarter. And Phoenix looking to take it on the floor. And Walker on the Lopez in the middle. I'm out there at Nash. And it's Hill at the small court. And taken away by Brown. It's called for the reach. That's his first foul. Here's Nash. West picks him up. Nash kicks to Hill. Goes up. Here's Horton. And so he draws the foul on the shot. Under to the line to shoot two.
Very easy call to make. No question. Contact on that shot.
Yeah, you know, you can allow a little contact, but not quite that bad.
He ends the second from the line.
You know, for the Suns last season at U.S. Airways Center, 23-18 was the record at home, still above 500, but of course not the kind of mark they've been used to setting here in the past.
Suns real by 9. Nash outside. Here's Horton. Shoots for three. Steve Nash hits it. Steve
They can work before they can get it for Phoenix because they've got some single players with some franchise that's got some difficult decisions to make. And it's also a franchise that is very accustomed to winning. One of the all-time leaders in winning when it comes to the NBA.
It's outside. Checking out here again with the spikes.
There's anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that.
Well, Steve Nash is big fan.
Offensive
guys out there. He's running through those with his team right now.
Josh Schultz, he's checked in for Grant Hill, and it brings in for Shannon Brown. And then for the Mavericks, Stevenson comes in for Lamar Odom, and Delonte West subbed in for Vince Carter.
I like the execution there. Swinging the man open and getting the easy hit.
A shake, and the layup by Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 23.
That makes 5 of the last 6 he makes coming from the top.
Some changes for Fists. Tortoise checked in for Lopez. Hill comes in for Josh Schultz. And it's Brown in for Evan Brooks. Vince Carter, he's checked in for Dallas. Terry comes in for Delonte West. Grant Hill on the wing. He kicks to Fry. Launches a three.
It's not getting you behind the arc. Come on, you gotta understand who you're from.
Mavericks lead by 3. Nowitzki for 3. That's good. Nowitzki's got 5 points now on the board.
Well, I like that he's come up with some big baskets for this team to know come out and get in this league.
There's Nash with the 3. Another 3 for Phoenix.
Well, another 2 3 there. They got to make some kind of adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open 3.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come out wide open 3-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but to start giving 3-pointers up one bunch, you're in big trouble.
Brown pass to Gorton. Open look. Less than 3-5 in the basket pointer. Hill's got 11 in the second half.
But both teams showing a lot of hustle, but
Steve, especially since halftime. I mean, they're flying around out there, giving up a lot of energy and putting together a pretty good show.
Suns trail by 6. Nash outside. He kicks it to Fry. For the 3. What a beautiful shot. But one to within 3.
And if there was any question, Ken, he's just not fazed by the pressure. He stays focused and always makes big plays.
For 3, Kidd. Another 3 for Dallas.
and they answer right back with that 3.
It's a good old shootout. Fans are enjoying this show.
And here's Nash. It's Brown on the wing. Back to Nash. Jacks up a 3. It's good from beyond the arc.
He looks good, getting it done consistently from deep.
Steve, I know you love the 3-ball, and he's been sharp, kind of like Steve Kerr used to be.
Brown buries it. And that shot brings them to within just 1.
And that had to feel good.
Yeah, he exhaled with that one went down.
And so they choose to intentionally foul. Here is a Kidd. And they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul.
Good foul there. They got to lengthen this game and stop the clock.
All you can really do here is hope they give you a chance to even it up.
2 for 2, and it's a 3-point ball game.
Big free throws, Kevin. Now they'll need a 3 to just stay alive.
And in the Suns' ball time, they're losing by 3. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Down 3, you don't necessarily have to go for the 3. You could go for the quick bucket and then the foul.
I'm not sure. I mean, in this situation, I think they should look for the 3, Steve. I mean, try to tie this thing up. You got 3-point shooters. Let it fly.
Here's Kidd. For 3. Buries the triple.
shootout continues.
Trading buckets both ways. I mean, offense definitely the focal point for these teams.
Oh, he couldn't make that shot go to force overtime. So it's a narrow victory for the Mavericks, pulling out the W. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan presents our player of the game, Dirk Nowitzki.